It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masikane. It is that time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following up for you throughout the course of the day have advanced. Here's your lunchtime update. Our reporters have been out and about this cold day, bringing us the latest stories. I'm joined by Moloko Moloto, live for us in Mpumalanga, and Silindelo Masikane, live in Johannesburg. Moloko, let me start with you. Of course, breaking news this morning that 5 trucks were burnt on the N4 highway in Waterval Boven in Mpumalanga. This, of course, coming from yesterday's 6 trucks at Van Rienen's Pass. What are authorities saying they've established so far? Are these linked?
Well, Masero, the authorities are still trying to investigate the motive behind the torching of these latest trucks in the province of Mpumalanga along the N1. We have spoken to the 2 truck drivers who were impacted by this. They tell us that there were men who were standing on the side of the road, and they even fired gunshots at their trucks, forcing them to stop. And before they set their trucks on fire. I'm told that some of the trucks were heading, one truck at least was heading to Mpumalanga to collect coal there. Apparently it was going to take it to Mozambique, and the other truck was carrying animal feed, while the other truck was carrying oranges from a farm in Ekenhoek, heading to the Durban harbour, and those oranges were going to be loaded onto a ship to China. Now, the trucks have been torched beyond recognition. And while in terms of the injuries, I'm told that, yes, there are a few, or I think 2 truck drivers who sustained minor injuries, but none of them sustained gunshots. And you can see, as we're still standing in the middle of this smoke, and the firefighters are still trying to douse some of the remaining fire there. And of course, we spoke to one of the truck drivers on record who narrated how those criminals really accosted them and shot at them and set their trucks on fire.
There were several people, there were like a group of people who were throwing stones into our trucks. So as I proceed driving, heading towards Middleburg, they were burning the grass on the tar road so that they hypnotize us that we stop. And unfortunately we couldn't, but we couldn't stop. They start firing some shots on the trucks, so we had to stop. I had to stop until they shot my right-hand side tire of the truck, yes.
Right, Slee, you're looking at water issues around Johannesburg. We're expecting thousands of residents not to have water running through their taps because of Rand Water maintenance work on a number of their infrastructure. From tomorrow evening, people have been asked to store water as this is expected to last until Friday afternoon. Have you seen anyone filling up bucket after bucket and storing water?
Not as yet. The expectation is that there should still be water running through people's taps. It just seems as though that the pressure may be a bit low. But the expectation, of course, is that there is a possibility, of course, that some households, some businesses, some areas in and around Johannesburg may experience water shortages after the maintenance work is also completed, because it is estimated that pressure in that pumps, of course, the water to various taps and households may take some time to be restored. And so one of those major pump stations that's going to be affected, that supplies water to various communities here in Johannesburg, is the Ekenhoek pump station in the south of Johannesburg. That is where majority of the areas we understand will be affected, from Langlaagte, to Soweto, to Randburg and Roodepoort, those residents who are supplied by this particular pump station are expected to be affected. We've been here for about 10-15 minutes now, and there is quite a lot of activity, a lot of officials driving in and out of this particular pump station. And of course, we know that there are various meetings that have taken place today with the ward councillors, with Joburg Water, rather, trying to ensure that those areas where water may not be available, that tankers be deployed. And so there's also other pump stations that of course are affected, but this is the major one, Masego. So those residents here in the south of Johannesburg in particular, in Randburg and in Roodepoort, they are the ones that I think should be anticipating perhaps that their taps may run dry and should be making alternative arrangements. But of course there is also an appeal for residents to use water sparingly, and Rand Water also appealing for residents not to panic. Let's take a listen.
I think we need to be very cautious. I realize that people are panicking that they will not have water for the next 10 days. When we say the system needs time to recover, it does not mean there will not be water at all. We're just talking about the system recovering fully. So there will still be water trickling once we're done with the maintenance, but the system will take about 10 days for the system to fully recover. Also, we have informed the municipalities who are customers in this case. It will be Ekurhuleni, Mirafong, south of Rustenburg. We have informed them according to our communication protocol and customer charter. We've given them 21 days in advance for them to prepare in case people don't have water, so that they can be able to dispense water tankers and fill up their reservoirs in the meantime.
And of course, the other big story is that Eskom has implemented stage 4 load shedding already. It started at lunchtime. Their reasons, high demand. And that, of course, is because of the snow and cold weather conditions. But that was your eNCA lunchtime update from all angles with reporters Silindelo Masikane and Moloto. Thank you very much, team. Let's leave it there for now.